Hey guys, what's good? This is Andre and today I want to go over last week's best winning trade and then I want to show you guys brand new setup. So for any of you looking for the timelines, I'm gonna put them down below. We're gonna look at TRV, INTU, ADI, Starbucks, Hilton and Marriott for trade setup, so feel free to jump ahead wherever you guys feel like your interest lies. I'm gonna get started here with Starbucks. So with Starbucks, some of the guys that have been watching our channel for the past few weeks would know that we took this journey down from roughly $107 all the way down to 99 here, where the green horizontal line is. This was my take profit area. I think it's time to take it back up. I think that this 200 moving average over here on the daily is a nice confluence with the 0.5 fib of the major move down and with the 0.38 fib of this last wave up. So we have three things pointing in the same direction. I don't like how the MACD is looking, and I don't particularly like the ADX indicator here either. That being said, you can always wait and see if the move starts edging in your direction. On the weekly though, the grand scheme of things, the trend is still very much an uptrend, so I want to take this trade. I'm gonna make sure that I have my stop loss very tightly tucked over here right under this area, so I'm gonna probably lose $1 per share for the chance to make roughly 8 or 9. So that's gonna give me an 8 or 9 to 1 risk reward ratio, or the other way around, 1 to 8 or 9 risk reward ratio, which is a pretty sweet trade that I would take every single day. Guys, let's review the best trade of last week because this was simply poetic. So last week, I think it must have been Wednesday or something, I had sent out this signal on Micron. For some of you guys that have caught it with me, congrats. We had such a tight stop loss, we were only losing $1.5 or $1.3 per share, and we were making $9 per share. So a 1 to 7 risk reward ratio. This is freaking amazing. Lo and behold, the very next day, Nvidia reporting the earnings. You guys know that Nvidia just skyrocketed, but as a result, it also took Micron along with it. And then let's have a look at how Micron is trading nowadays. Here we are, guys. My take profit had just triggered. I'm completely out of this trade right now. I actually had a couple of positions. The first one stopped out at 1 to 2 risk reward, the way I usually set up things, just to make sure that I catch portions of each trade and kind of hedge my my losses whenever I do get losses. And yeah, guys, this was an amazing trade. I'm freaking proud of it, but I'm even more proud of some of you guys that took it with me, and I've received a couple of messages. Congrats for that, guys. By the way, leave it in the comment section below if you took this trade with me, and leave it in the comment section below if you want me to break down any stock for you guys. I'm more than happy to have a look and see exactly if there is a setup there or anything that we can do with it. But guys, check out our Patreon. We post a ton of free content, completely free. I post a ton of ideas in here. Some work, some don't, obviously, but we always have a stop loss. We always work within the boundaries of what would make a long-term successful setup. So definitely feel free to jump in here. Let me know if you need any help from us. The smallest tier costs $5 and you get a ton more ideas, but even on the freemium you get a ton of interesting setups and a ton of really good information from our end. Let's move back here, guys. So we just had reviewed Starbucks and MU. Let's have a look at TRV. So TRV has been forming this triangle over here ever since March. That's being confirmed by volume. Whenever you guys set up a triangle, make sure that the volume decreases as the triangle formation starts forming, basically, and this is the one that I'm talking about. So just this small part here, but it's kind of funny that it had formed within a bigger triangle that we had been tracking earlier. So I think it's a nice setup here for a long. We're again going to be keeping our stop loss pretty sweet here, pretty short, right beneath the previous low, so maybe $1.50 of loss per share for roughly let's say $10. Let's not be greedy, let's say $10 of reward. So we're potentially gonna make a 1 to 6 risk reward ratio here. Pretty sweet setup. As I was saying, you can definitely nibble on a couple of shares. The next one, guys, is INTU. For INTU, this is a more expensive stock, so not everybody will be able to trade this setup, but it's still a pretty nice setup. We've been trading in this wedge formation or channel formation for a while here. We have just rechecked in on the low end of things, and again, we're gonna make sure that our stop, ideally you put it right under the previous lows. That's gonna give you a pretty hefty loss of $13 per share, so position size accordingly. If you can only afford taking like 3 shares, take 3 shares. You don't need to go crazy here. And I would actually take profit right under the underside of the candle previous to this massive gap here. I think it might be difficult for us to continue moving after we fill the gap. So this is the setup. It's gonna be a 1 to 2, so it's nothing to write to your mom about, but it's definitely a good enough setup for us to take. The next one here, guys, is ADI. So for ADI, this is actually an interesting one. I've been looking at it all day and I struggled to put a name to the situation here, to the setup. But we've definitely had this kind of ascending trend line, that's check. We've had these previous peaks that were respecting this trend line, and now we've traded above it, held it twice, and now we are below it, and it looks like it's forming resistance here. And what I was also looking at is that it looks really much like a head and shoulders pattern as well. And we obviously gap down beneath all of these. The MACD looks terrible. The ADX and the red DI, which represents selling, again, absolutely horrible. So, well, horrible for the long side, but excellent for the short side. So I'm gonna take a trade here. It's probably, let me clean this up. It's probably going to look something along the lines of this, and this is why I don't think it's the time to take this trade right now, because as you guys can see, the risk reward ratio is not phenomenal. I might wait for this guy to retest under here so that I can have a sweeter stop and a better risk reward ratio. It's an interesting setup, not the best trade setup right now, so TBD on that one. The next one here, guys, it's Hilton. And with Hilton, actually, some of you guys know that we took this already. So I'm on the second attempt of taking this long. We took the first profit here. This is the trade that we took last week. We had a 2 to 1 risk reward, or a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio. Actually, I had highlighted the trade. Let me show you guys. I was looking at this red candle here when I brought up the trade, and then by the time the market opened, I was just waiting to see where it opens, and we gapped lower and we traded below moving the trend line here, so I didn't do anything about it. I waited for the next day and I took the trade here, and this was the exact trade that I had taken. I took profits on Friday on a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade, and I still have a portion of the trade. I think I'm going to re-enter with this small one though. Again, the stop is so sweet and very close to the price action. We're only going to lose $1.3 per share. It'd be a shame to miss out on this one, so I think I'm going to be adding to this position. And the next one is Marriott, guys. This is also the final one. For Marriott, I still want to wait for a retest in this area here, in this circle. I don't know when that's gonna be, but I just wanted to bring this one up so you can have it on your radar. That's about it. In the meantime, as Marriott gets there, we might get a zero line MACD reversal, so that would be sweet. But for right now, that's about it, guys. If you enjoy the content, please give me a thumbs up, share it, love it, do whatever you want with it. Check out our Patreon. I'm gonna catch you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Cheers.